So, honest opinions on these photos. These are official studio photography pictures here. This is studio photography from her ad campaign, the Blake Brown ad campaign. And if you don't know what we're talking about, Blake Lively has a hair care line and it had just debuted right like 6 months ago or something. It was a really big deal. And it's a Target, right? Is it just Target or now it's everywhere, including thrift stores? But it was supposed to be, I think, an exclusive line for Target, or at least start with Target. And it's not, her Blake Brown line has not been around long, and it won like an award that she was touting on her Instagram a while back for best newcomer or something. And I don't know, it was some beauty or cosmetics or hair care organization. But anyway, it given her this award for best newcomer, most promising newcomer, or something like that in the business, in the hair care product business. And so things, I guess, were looking really up for her initially. But what happened is that past 6 months or so, the sales for her product have, she claims, plummeted. What is it, 70 to 90% or something crazy. I think she says in her lawsuit, 70%, or her complaint and her lawsuit. And so sales of this really fell off a cliff at the same time that she began to get all of this bad coverage on social media. And of course, we're talking about like the Kirsty Flaw interview, congrats on your bump and all that. And then there's stuff, y'all seen it, right? I don't even have to tell you, you know what's going on. And so Lively had claimed in her complaint and in her lawsuit that her sales, the Blake Brown sales, and by the way, it's Blake Brown because that is actually her name, right? Um, I'm so Blake Brown hair care products, and the sales were like dropping off a cliff apparently after she started getting a lot of bad PR. Well, I can only assume that since now she has been getting way, way worse PR. In fact, things really, it's hard to imagine things being much worse PR wise for her and Ryan Reynolds than they are right now. I guess it's possible, but things have been so bad for them PR wise. I can only imagine that the Blake Brown products have just completely flatlined, honestly. And so the reason I'm bringing this up, and some of you know this, there was a blind item apparently. And blind item, for those who don't know, it just refers to basically some gossip, right? Some gossip around town. Someone told somebody, it got back to the writer, but no one's willing to go on record, right? But there was a blind item about the fact that this idea that Blake Brown products were now being shipped to or given to thrift stores to try to sell them there because they were just not sellable like at Target. Um, I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. Does that surprise you all? This woman is very, very disliked. But here's the thing. I have thought for a while, ever since I looked up her hair care products, I've thought for a while that her hair in a number of these promotional pictures and a number of these ads, that her hair actually doesn't look that good. And I'm not saying like in a catty way, like, well, who are you to talk? I mean, honestly, like there's all kinds of fucking split ends in here if you want to go through it and look. But I'm not trying to sell a hair care product. And I'm not claiming that the hair care product totally tanked because of a Justin Baldoni conspiracy. And that's one of the things, that's one of the big claims, some of you know this, that she made in her original complaint, was that she had suffered these serious business losses with her Blake Brown products because Justin Baldoni and his his publicist, his PR peeps, had launched this super sophisticated covert uh, destruction campaign against Blake, right? Social media destruction. So, I wouldn't normally spend Friday afternoon before work ragging on someone's hair online. Like, I just don't do that because I don't give a fuck about people's hair, and I don't even give a fuck about my own hair most of the time. I'm hard pressed to be able to wash my hair every day. Let's just be honest about that. So I don't normally care about this. But then when you start, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, when you start citing the how do we want to say is the performance and revenue lack of success of your hair care products, and you start attributing that in legal documents and in complaints, official complaints, you start attributing that to Justin Baldoni and his team, then you call into question your own management of this product line. And so I just have to say, like Blake Lively, I don't know who is choosing the photos, but no, it's not like the worst hair in the world or whatever. But to me, the hair in these photos, it doesn't look appealing. And this is something that other people have been noticing online too. And and so, like, for instance, this, I don't know. I mean, it's just the ends look a little split. It looks a little frizzy. It looks frizzy in all of them. And then you have this one where I know they were going for like the windswept look or what have you, casual, but it could be interpreted as looking kind of stringy at the ends. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's like kind of frizzy on top, stringy at the ends. Yeah, it's better than my hair. Again, I don't care. Except that she's brought all of this onto the table now. It's fair game. And look here. I mean, it was intentionally frizzed in this. I'm sorry, you can't really see it there. It was intentionally frizzed in this photo. And again, I get it. You're going for the windswept, I don't care about my hair kind of thing. But like, I don't know. I don't think it's very appealing. I don't know how I feel about the actual packaging of the products either. You all can tell me what you think about this. I actually think that the packaging looks good in ads, but then I've had some people tell me that in person, like if you go to Target, that the packaging looks cheap. Oops, sorry. Make this a little bigger. So this to the right, here we go. This is the packaging. And so I think it looks cool. Honestly, I think it looks cool in ads. But again, some people have been saying online that in person, it just kind of looks weird or kind of looks cheap when it's on the shelf. So I don't know. But she's kind of taken a risk with that. That's not the most conventional packaging for hair care products. Anyway, some of the ads and stuff that she did are good. And I went to her Instagram page and I looked at some of those, and some of those are really, really nice. So I guess maybe it's a difference too of like photography setting or whatever. But I guess my point being that I don't think it was the most, I don't think what she's got here has been the most effective ad campaign. And the products, I looked online and people reviewing the products, and even before all this stuff got started, it seems like there's kind of a split decision on that as to whether they're effective or not. So I don't know. But look, I'm going to agree, and some of you I see agreeing there too. I'm going to agree. Let's just say that we agree that the main reason why her products have been tanking is because people don't like her. And let me go back to my page. I'm going to show you some other stuff there. Is because people don't like her. I mean, that's what happens. Again, that is a consequence of your actions. That is what happens when you start a campaign, a war against someone who's perceived to be an innocent victim in this, Justin Baldoni and his associates. It's what you get. So again, never thought I'd be sitting around talking about hair care products at Target, but that's where we are with some of this, I guess. So that's one thing. Let me say hello to everybody in the chat. As always, my mods, we've got Vanessa. Hey, Vanessa. We've got AJ. And then my mods normally also are Laura B. Oh, there's Laura B. I'm always overlooking you, Laura B. You're a little bit lower down the chat. But Laura B. and then that Rebel Bird might be on as well. We'll see. We'll see. So thanks everybody for showing up. And as always, my links are below. And we're just going to talk about several things here. I want to talk in a minute about the Penn Badgley thing. Well, let me just kind of preview this a little bit. It looks like Blake Lively sort of tried to Justin Baldoni Penn Badgley. Wow, that's a lot of LYs at the end. But that's what it's looking like. Someone dug up, and again, my apologies, I don't know exactly who dug it up first, but let me find it. But someone dug this up, and it is an old Glamour article from the magazine Glamour. And she's talking, and it's about Gossip Girl, but there's this one particular section where she's quoted as saying, "I actually poisoned the whole cast against her co-star and boyfriend, Penn Badgley." And so then someone dug up the entire quote. Citizen journalists, I don't know if you're watching, but they do really good work, by the way. If you follow them online, you're going to get better updates than you get with me. Honestly, I'm good with like commentary and like snarky turns of phrases and stuff, but like I'm not always on the ball with everything. So they've got great updates. But anyway, here's the article. It says, let me go where you can see it. Oh, Laura B, I didn't mean to put you up there. Sorry, but hello. Okay, so we've got this is the article. Lively, who has previously refuted reports of discord on the Gossip Girl set, tells the magazine that she gets along well with her co-stars. Oh yeah, we're about to hear just how well she gets along. We hang out, quote, we hang out after filming, she insists. We actually look forward to spending time together outside of work. That includes her real life leading man, Penn Badgley, although she admits she was unhappy when he was cast on the series. Quote, at first, I was so upset that they hired him. I actually poisoned the whole cast against him. But then they noticed that he wasn't a jerk and was actually really nice, et cetera, et cetera. And I guess she explains how they ended up liking each other and then dating for several years. But this is what she said. She just told us that she gets along well with her co-stars. And then she describes how she initiated a smear campaign basically against her leading man until she decided that he was okay. I actually poisoned the whole cast against him. So we've got, look, the evidence is just piling up here. I know some people are saying that they were waiting for more evidence. Sorry, I'm having allergies today. I know that people are saying that they're waiting for more evidence, and that's fine. Continue to wait. But so far, we've got this article where she is admitting that her MO, it sounds like, is to turn against leading men. She doesn't like them or suspicious of them or whatever, and then to basically try to turn everyone against them on the cast. So she's already admitted that she's done that. And then remember, we got that Forbes interview that I talked about the last couple of days, where she also proudly boasts, honestly, about the fact that she often will pretend that she just wants to be an actress so that she gets hired. And then once she gets hired, she sets about to basically, my words, but basically try to, in every way possible, undermine the director and other people on the set and usurp her position because she actually has distaste and disdain. It's very evident for being an actress. Anyways, or at least she feels like she's not getting the roles that she wants. Yeah, well, she did look good in that shark movie, though. I'm not going to deny that. So yeah, so this is to me, it's just evidence. All this stuff is evidence of a pattern. And unfortunately for Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, what's going to happen is this stuff is just going to keep dripping out. I mean, for instance, I think I talked about this the other day, but what about the assistant director on the set of A Simple Favor 2 who came forward and said, basically, she didn't use Blake Lively's name, but it was very obvious who she was talking about, that the reason that she had stopped being an assistant director in the industry is because she had such a horrible experience with Blake Lively. And so that's on my page as well. And that's getting around today. People talking about that more. So I don't know. It's interesting. Here we go. Yeah. So I talked about it earlier. All right. So I want to get to some other Blake Lively. There's still some other Blake Lively news in a little while, but I want to talk about Marilyn Manson protest. So the Germans, I shouldn't say all Germans, not most Germans. In fact, we're probably talking about a tiny, tiny, pathetic fringe. But there are going to be, it looks like, some German protesters at the Berlin show. So Marilyn Manson, for people who don't know, and for my Blake Lively viewers who have really no clue why I'm always talking about Marilyn Manson. So this is the big Me Too hoax, the gigantic Me Too hoax that I've been trying to expose for 4 years. No joke. And I didn't get into YouTube to do this. It hadn't even happened yet. When I started my YouTube channel, it was to cover Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. And I did end up, oh, and I'm sorry, this is off center. That's probably driving a bunch of you crazy, and rightly so. But I got on YouTube to originally, my idea was that I would join a number of my friends, commentators who were talking about Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. And I did do that. And my first several weeks of videos were about that. And then I continued to do a lot of videos, especially around the trial time. But about 3 weeks after I started my channel, Johnny Depp's best friend, as it happens, Marilyn Manson, was accused by multiple women, including actress Evan Rachel Wood and the actress Esme Bianco, of all kinds of Me Too shit. And so, what has happened in the interim is that he's been fully investigated by the authorities and they've cleared him. This just happened recently. And he filed a defamation lawsuit against Evan Rachel Wood and her ex-girlfriend and co-conspirator. And there was a lot of evidence that came out through that. So there's a whole other thing that I don't want to get into. But if you want to know about that whole situation, it's crazy. It's the craziest Me Too hoax, Me Too case I have honestly ever heard of. It is down the rabbit hole for sure. It makes Depp versus Heard look like child's play. But if you want to look into that, I've got a playlist. I've done like almost 200 videos over 4 years on this topic. So you can check that out. But here's the point. Marilyn Manson is touring again. He just completed a really successful tour with Five Finger Death Punch. Stadiums, arenas, huge. And then also he did his own solo tour in the US. And now he is on a sold out solo tour in Europe. And so what seems to happen, I saw this with the Rammstein situation, is and that's a whole other thing, but that the Germans really like to protest. And so, as Rammstein was going through Europe in the wake of that whole Me Too hoax, and I'm talking about the German band Du Hast, that's probably what most people know. Du hast mich. Du hast mich. Du hast mich gefragt. I don't actually know the lyrics. Why can't they do the Super Bowl next year? Okay. Anyways, there was this whole Me Too hoax around them, and I've got a playlist on that, so you can check that out too. But here's the point. When they were doing then their tour through Europe, there were some protests here and there, feminist protests. And in particular, the Germans were just super, super stoked about protesting. There was actually only like 100, 150 of them protesting, but they did some funny, bizarre shit. For example, they protested Rammstein's lead singer, Till Lindemann, by marching around the city and then going to a grave site and setting up a mock grave for Till Lindemann and doing some kind of incantation or something. I don't know. But those European protests were funny. I mean, the Americans don't protest on that level. And so there was, I don't know, I thought they were amusing. And I actually put together a video, I don't know, a couple of years ago, making fun of it, of some of the European protests. So I'll show you this, but I'm getting to a point here, which is that there are some Germans, some of the same crowd as the gals who were protesting, the gals and the guys who were protesting Rammstein in Europe. They have decided they're going to protest again to some degree, protest Marilyn Manson, who is playing in Europe and is going to be playing in Berlin very soon. I think he just finished Munich, right? Anyway, he's going to be playing in Berlin very soon. And so it's supposed to be cold as hell, but we'll see if anybody actually shows up to protest him like they showed up, like the 100, 150 who showed up to protest Rammstein last time. So I'm going to talk more about that. And also these people, this group, they have been writing to different people in charge of this show, like the venues and like the local politicians, and basically demanding that they shut down Marilyn Manson's show and that they cancel him and they don't allow him or any other perpetrators to play at these venues, right? So it's the same thing they were doing with the German band Rammstein. Anyway, I want to show you, this is very short, but I think this is funny. These are some clips from some of the protests in Europe of Rammstein, and then I've overlaid my own commentary. Sorry, he's making a blender thing in there, but I've overlaid these with my own commentary. So if you see some like weird comments, that's me making fun of shit. But anyway, watch this. It's like 2 minutes or whatever. It's not that long. It's funny. So give me 1 second. I'll put it up. Oh, and by the way, I guess I'll tell you this, if you're wondering about the whole Rammstein hoax and what it was about, it started with this woman who has been completely discredited and has even actually withdrawn to some degree her allegations, who claimed that She was drugged by the Rammstein frontman Till Lindemann at a pre-party, and then after that she sort of lost track of what happened, and she assumes bad things happened because she ended up with some bruises, et cetera, et cetera. And so this was a video that she put out that really kicked off this whole thing, where she was trying to prove that she had been drugged because the drink that she was given at the pre-party foamed, and or it didn't foam, but this foamed. I don't know. It's craziness. But let's look at this. You'll see this, and then we'll move to the protest and talk about it. And by the way, the sound, you might have to adjust the sound because on StreamYard, it does weird stuff sometimes, like turn shit down. So you can do it yourself if you need to. And I'll try to be quiet when I come back on. Here we go.
I'm in shock. I'm actually in shock. Brand new bottle of tequila. Just opened it. I have a video of me opening it. It doesn't foam. It doesn't foam. Only whenever that GHB drug is in there mixed with drugs or alcohol, it foams.
So obviously that was me making fun of it with the dramatic music, but the video itself was her. She was trying to prove through some science experiment here that the drink that she had been given the other night at the Rammstein pre-party by the front man, that because it foamed, then it had to have GHB in it. But then, of course, it came out, and multiple witnesses at the party were saying, well, it had champagne in it because apparently Till Lindemann's drink of choice is to add, I don't know, tequila or something to champagne. So, of course, champagne's going to like foam and fizz. So this is the kind of craziness that we were dealing with. But this, y'all, this touched off a firestorm in Europe, particularly in Germany. And they tried to fucking cancel these guys based on this and some other silly allegations, half-assed allegations that came out afterward. Most of them women admitting to consensual activity that they only in hindsight regretted because they realized there was, quote, an uneven power structure in the relationship. That's what we're talking about here. So this almost got Rammstein canceled. And it made their tours kind of a living hell for a while. And there were protests, but here's some video from the protest. And again, the reason that I'm showing this is because Marilyn Manson, now some of these same people are threatening to protest Marilyn Manson at the show in Berlin. So let me show you. This is some amusing scenes from the Rammstein protest. Again, the comments overlaid are my own.
If your matching set doesn't make you this excited, then you just haven't tried a comfort set.
Oh, I'm excited about that.
It's a mental health supporting brand that makes all of their clothing with a slight...
Oh, wow.
On est la semaine, 2 jours, 3 jours après la grève féministe, et pourtant, on est encore aujourd'hui, il y a encore 40 000 personnes qui viennent regarder un potentiel violeur, un potentiel agresseur, et ça, moi, je trouve ça complètement scandaleux et pas acceptable aujourd'hui en 2023.
Non, du tout. Ah non, nous, ça ne nous empêche pas de venir les voir. Hein. On est fans depuis un moment, donc on les suivra toujours.
Über den Protest, schlechtlich. Es ist ja gar noch nicht bewiesen. Groupies gibt es überall, Groupies gibt es seit langem Jahr. Es tut jetzt so, als ob wir das erst jetzt...
Oh man, by the way, sorry, somebody wanted to know what's that about a suck box. Well, so long story to get into, but basically one of the allegations made by Shelby, this girl that you just saw freaking out over the drink, right, and it doesn't foam, was that she was taken to a small dressing room area underneath the stage at this Rammstein show, like basically at halftime, so to speak. And this was dubbed by some as the suck box, I think for obvious reasons, right? And so she alleged that at this point, Till Lindemann came in and asked her for sex, and she told him no. And he said, okay, stay right here. Someone will come back and get you. That ended up being the extent of what she alleged. Now, originally she was alleging that she thought she'd been drugged and then she'd gotten these bruises and she couldn't remember things. But what happened is I interviewed multiple people on my channel who were with her the entire time and who said that she was not drugged and also that they thought she was a weirdo from the start to finish. So anyway, if you're interested in any of this, check it out. But here's the point. These people now, these types of people are threatening to protest Marilyn Manson. And they've been posting stuff in German on their Instagram about, oh, please contact this person and contact this person and contact the owner of this venue and contact the mayor and et cetera, et cetera. And let's try to get him shut down. And so what'll be interesting to see will be if anybody actually shows up in like 27-degree winter weather in Berlin. I'll tell you this, you are a committed extremist feminist there if you're willing to do that, if you're willing to brave the cold. But then they're Germans, right? So they're used to it. So maybe it's not a big deal. For me here in Texas, if it's 27 degrees, I'm probably not going to go outside and protest much of anything. But I don't know. Over there, maybe that's par for the course. I don't know. But hold on one second. I have a couple of pictures I want to show you. I'll be right back. Okay, back in like 1 minute.
He put out the text message.
Okay. All right. I'm back. I wanted to show you this Instagram post of mine. Okay. So this is what I was talking about, that these German protesters that they did as a part of their protest of Till Lindemann and Rammstein in Berlin, is they made this. These were two of the highlights, actually. One of them was this Kill Till sign. So it's subtle, right? Really, really nice there. Really, really enlightened. But this was the Berlin protest, and I believe it was the Berlin protest. And someone came up with this sign because the guy's name is Till Lindemann. So Kill Till. Now, if you really zoom in, you can see that there's actually some writing in here. And I think what she's actually saying here is kill your toxic masculinity. Till. Oh, isn't that clever? Because when you look at it at first it looks like she's saying kill Till, but then you look at the little writing and it says kill your toxic masculinity. Give me a fucking break. Give me a fucking break. But then, sorry, I'm the one who's got issues. I can't navigate this this technology. I'm trying to get it just right, and it keeps just going everywhere on me. But you see it here. So yeah, so they did this grave. And so I don't know. I doubt Marilyn Manson gets this kind of treatment because Rammstein is a huge, huge band in Germany. And as big as Marilyn Manson is, I don't think he's as big in Germany. So they might not put forth this level of effort. And also this was in the summertime. You can get more people to show up in a German summer than you can right now in the winter, but we'll see. But yeah, this is the level here of insanity. So let me show you then the Marilyn Manson, the recent post about Marilyn Manson. I can't read German, obviously, but if you can, then I guess you can see what they're talking about here. But basically, they're asking for their oh, why does it keep doing this? Sorry, they're asking for their audience to write to various people in Germany to try to get Manson banned and get his performance stopped and all of that. So there you are. Anyway, I think that's pretty funny. So what do we got coming up with Blake Lively? Basically, I think she has to still present her amended filing, right? I don't know. Did we pass the deadline on that? I know she was asking for an extension. Those of you who've been paying attention to the legalities in great detail, I know that Blake Lively's side had asked for an extension. Oh, my light just went out. It's okay. Had asked for an extension to get their lawsuit filing amended because they wanted to add, I'm sure, so much great evidence. But the judge shot them down on that extension. So I'm trying to remember when it's due. It's got to be, she's given until Monday. Oh, okay. Thank you, Elophelia. I thought it was coming up pretty fast. Some people had said it at Valentine's, but no, not quite. So yeah, so Monday. So we're going to see. I assume she's going to file something. And she's going to try to include something that purports to be evidence, because so far she has just been shellacked by Justin Baldoni and his team and all of the evidence, all of the receipts, as Brian Freeman said, that they put out there. So yeah, I don't know, but we'll see. It'll probably be fodder for, a good week's worth of posts and conversation. Yeah, we need to bring back the word psych, by the way. Who is old enough to remember that usage of psych? I loved that when I was younger. So the idea is that you say something to someone that is preposterous or that's incorrect, or you're kidding around or you're joking, or you want them to think something, and then they react, right? So like someone might say to me, like, your hair looks like shit today, or something. That's kind of stupid, but whatever. Your hair looks like shit today. And I'll be like that. And then you go, psych, right? Like I psyched you out. Right. It's like a fake out, psych. Okay. Some of you know what I'm talking about, right? I just so want to bring that back. I want to bring back psych. I'll start using it a lot in my, in my thumbnails from now on. Oh man. All right, everybody. So I want to end with some Valentine's Day recommendations here. And I put this on Twitter. Let me call my Twitter back one more time. I'm not going to spend forever talking about this. I got to go. I got to move on with my day because I remember I am a server, y'all. So tonight is D-Day for me, actually. Got that preset menu, right? The surf and turf. Y'all know what's going on. So anyway, I got that. I gotta get ready for that. I got to get like in the zone. It's kind of like Marilyn Manson before he starts a concert. He's backstage, is getting loose, getting in the zone, focused. That's what I got to do. I need to go sit somewhere for an hour and like visualize myself serving that surf and turf. No, I love my job. I'm not making fun of it. It's other people who make fun of it. Like, why do you do that? Don't you have a PhD? Yeah, the thing is, y'all, I am beyond the point in my life where I feel like I have to prove I'm smart to people. That was like the first 20 years of my life, or I guess 30 years of my life. I worried about appearing smart to people. And then I was like, why do I fucking care? So that's where I am now. Anyway, I enjoy, I've said this before, people might think this is crazy or weird. I enjoy being a server more than I enjoyed teaching college. I mean that. Interesting. So, and takes just as much intelligence. It's just a different kind of intelligence. I've known people, and I know a lot of you know what I'm talking about, who were so book smart and they could have, God bless them, these really esoteric conversations about philosophy or history or whatever, right? But then you ask them to do anything practical and it's not happening, right? And so when I first, decades ago started as a server, started waiting tables, I was kind of in that category, honestly. And I was a terrible server at first. I was terrible. Terrible. I don't know why I stuck with it, except I was like, I just like the pace of this. I think it's cool. Like, you don't have to stand in one place. And I like being able to talk to people, but not have to talk to them too long, because I gotta go. I gotta get back to the kitchen. I can't chat with you that long. Good job. But anyway, it did take me a while to get good at it because I was the sort of, in real life, practically speaking, kind of stupid professor. Vanessa says, psych. What's up to my mod there, Vanessa? Thank you for that. Thank you for that $5 super chat and psych. Okay, so I was going to give my movie recommendations and then leave. So, let me find it. Sorry. I'm going to post also, by the way, some of my interview with Ethan Ralph on his show when we talked about Blake Lively and stuff. He does not fail to entertain. Whatever people may think of him, and I know he's controversial or whatever, I've never had an issue with him. After we had that initial hiccup where I joked about him and he took it the wrong way or whatever, but then after that, we've been good. But I understand people have a range of experiences with him. But anyway, I'm going to post some of that because it was a funny interview and he had some funny things to say. He's not following the Blake Lively stuff as closely as we are, but he had some interesting stuff to say. Okay, here's my list of, these are my Valentine's Day recommendations. And here was the criteria here. Each of these films for me personally, and this is a very individual thing. So some of you might hate some of these films or doesn't do it for you or whatever, but each of these films, oh, I'm sorry, you couldn't see me. Let's do this again. Each of these films for me captures the magical feeling of falling in love. And so, there's lots of movies about romance and about relationships and the ups and downs of relationships and all of that. But I wanted a list of movies that actually, to me, whether they're happy or they're sad or they're a mix, that when I watched these movies for the first time, I felt a kind of a magic about romantic love. And so I've got here, my favorite is The Bridges of Madison County. Now, some people don't like this because they say it endorses adultery. If that's your view, I don't think you've actually watched the film and given it a chance, honestly. But I love this movie. It's also a more mature love story. So we have, Clint Eastwood. He's not as old as he is now, but Clint Eastwood well into I think retirement years in this. I mean, in terms of like his age. And Meryl Streep, is in her late 40s, I think, when they filmed this. And so anyway, but it is my favorite love story of all time on film. It's just, I think it's very powerful. And I think it also has a lot to say about life as well. And also it kind of she kind of reminds me of my grandmother. And I think it made me think about like my grandmother's generation and what women did at times have to give up for that. The trad life gets celebrated a lot, but I don't think that a number of young women who celebrate it understand what the real trad life was like, especially for a farmer's wife, which is what my grandmother was. But I love this film. Shakespeare in Love. I know that the Shakespeare stuff it's not a Shakespeare play and it's not in Shakespearean dialect, but I know that sometimes the Shakespeare thing's a little off-putting for some people, and I don't like the way it starts. It's kind of annoying the way it starts, but if you stick with it, give it about 15 minutes, and tell me that this movie does not capture the magic of falling in love for you. It's a beautiful, poetic movie, and it's not a true story. It's just historical fiction or whatever, but it's really good. Blue is the warmest color. I do have to warn you, you don't want to watch this one with like your parents, your grandparents, because there is like a 20-minute, basically lesbian porno scene. And it was so explicit that in fact, the two lead actresses ended up complaining later that the director had pushed them too far. So I just want to say it is super, super, super explicit sex. And around this, though, is a 3-hour movie that, again, is just magic, I think. And in fact, people who saw it at Cannes Film Festival, Steven Spielberg was there. It ended up winning the Palme d'Or. They said that it was spellbinding, that it cast a spell over the audience. And I totally agree with that. But watch out for that sex scene. All right, I'm not going to go through the others, but y'all know Titanic. I don't care what the Titanic haters say. That is a beautiful movie on multiple levels. Not only as a love story, but existentially, philosophically. I will not. And then it's an action-packed film. I just don't understand the haters for this movie. Brokeback Mountain. Again, great performances here. And this kind of reminded me in a way of what I was saying about The Bridges of Madison County, because these guys kind of reminded me of my grandfather in a way, right? Age of Innocence, and this is one of my favorite novels as well, Edith Wharton, but it's got the language at first. It's going to be difficult for some people. Again, this is one you need to stick with a good 15, 20 minutes, but the story at a certain point becomes fascinating. This love triangle, unrequited or not unrequited, unfulfilled love. Gone with the Wind. Enough said there, y'all. It's a classic of American cinema. It's one of the best movies ever made. Despite whatever, political issues and the depictions of slavery, et cetera, like it is an astounding film. There's a reason why it's a classic. If you haven't watched it, you really need to watch it. And it's interesting. It's not one of those classic movies that you're like, okay, I'm watching Citizen Kane because I'm supposed to, but I really am not enjoying this. That's my experience of Citizen Kane. Sorry. No, this is not this. I saw this when I was a girl. I didn't even know what it was. It came on TV. And about 5 minutes in, I was absolutely hooked. And I was like, what is this? And then, it was Gone with the Wind. Yeah. So great. And then we've all seen A Star is Born, haven't we? But to me, this movie also captures the magic. And then, of course, then the pain. Yes, but the magic of falling in love. So enjoy these recommendations, everyone. And your Valentines, whether you celebrate it or you don't. And remember, y'all, the highest form of existence is not necessarily being with another person. And the last video of mine that I want to recommend people is a video that I did in response to all that twin flame controversy from a while back. And in this video series, I actually argue against the idea that your life is unfulfilled or incomplete or existentially inferior if you don't have a romantic relationship. So if you're alone today and you're not okay with it, you're not happy about it, I'm not joking. Watch these videos, because some people told me it made them not only feel better about their single situation, but also look at it philosophically, existentially in a different way. And so I'm going to call up, hold on one second. I'm going to call up these videos so you'll know what they look like. I'm not even joking. And I do philosophy videos. I don't get to do them as often anymore, unfortunately, because they just don't do well on the algorithm. But, I taught a lot of philosophy in school and college and stuff, and psychology and things like that as a part of my literature courses and film courses. And so if you like that stuff, you should really.
I haven't done a video in a while.
But let me find the video.
It took me 27 years.
Come on. Where is it? I'll tell you what, fuck it. Just go to my film and philosophy playlist on my channel, and then look for the one that says twin flames, and the other one is something like "Will I Be Alone Forever?" or something like that. Single and miserable. I think that's what I called it. Single and miserable with a question mark. Yeah, here we go. All right, let me make this a little bigger. So here are the videos. Afraid You've Missed True Love. That is a 53-minute video of inspiration for you single people. And then Should You Give Up on Finding Your Soulmate? That was where I talked more about the twin flames insanity. So anyway, watch that. If you're single and sad about it, watch it. If you're not sad, then just get out and enjoy your life. I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.